Craig, you just want to start us off with an opening statement, and then we can go on questions.
Sure. Coming off a pretty good weekend. It's always good to get 3 wins. Always great to be back in Diddle playing in front of our home fans, and it being 2 of 3 weekends in a row is really nice. I think our kids are excited to be at home. So that was pretty special. Just in terms of the weekend, we had the usual suspects had really good weekends with Lauren and Paige, and Katie Eisenbarger kind of started producing a little bit more than what she had been, so she's getting a little comfortable and confident offensively. Nadia Judenet running a great offense, and so it was a really good weekend in that regard. Even more so the fact that we got to get our freshmen in there and get them some real game experience and see what they're going to be able to do when the bright lights are on. Get some of the nerves out for sure. Katie Howard in front of what is pretty much her home crowd, and she had a really good weekend. Kicked it off, pretty steady, and then finished with 2 really strong offensive matches. And it's good to get some added production out of that position. Something we've kind of needed, a little bit more offense there. 2 totally different players between her and Avery Davis. Avery has a much bigger presence at the net, and Katie's got that go after it mentality offensively. So that's a nice little change. And then get Kelsey Bringers out there. I think a lot of people got a chance to see what she's going to be able to provide for us over the next several years. That kid just makes some plays defensively and makes things happen, keep the ball off the floor, and has a different mentality. Still had some freshman moments, just going back and looking through some of the film, and we'll talk to her about it. She, in that St. John's match on Saturday afternoon, she left a few plays out there that are a little bit uncharacteristic of that kid, but I'm sure she'll work through some of that. And so it was really good to see them out there and get some things done. And a couple other things that really stood out to us. Our blocking for the weekend was good. We averaged, I think, over 3 blocks a set on the weekend, which is a really high number for us. Paige Briggs had a great match against St. John's, their big left-handed right side, who's an impact player, and Paige was able to get 4 total blocks for the day against them, and that's a significant number for her and really impacted play. And our serving kind of ironed out a little bit too. That's been something we've been focusing on, been inconsistent. We've had a great weekend of serving, and then we'd have an okay weekend, and this weekend we kind of bounced back, and that really impacted play significantly, and not just with aces, but with the ability to slow down offenses, get them uncomfortable, especially against St. John's. We were just, change the depth a little bit and get them out of rhythm, and that gave us an opportunity to transition some points. So overall, good weekend, and we're, glad to be back home again this weekend.
Questions for Craig?
Coach Jared McDonald with the Daily News here.
Yep.
You mentioned Katie Howard. I guess from the time she got on campus up to this point, how much have you seen her grow? And then looking towards the future, I guess, what's the most promising part of her game?
It's a really good question, and I'm not sure that we know the full answer to the last part of that just yet. But she came in preseason, and you got this young freshman who's got nothing to lose, right? So she's going out, and she had a great preseason training and very aggressive offensively. And then you started to, she started to settle in a little bit, and the demands of what we're doing, you could kind of start to see her maybe get a little bit tired at times. So then you start to see, okay, what's she going to be like on the last match of a weekend? And she proved this weekend that she can do it. And where's she going to go? Let me back up. I guess her improvements, yes, she's starting to understand what we're doing offensively, and she's trying to eliminate some of those unforced errors that she puts on herself, and that's going to be critical for her. That's something we need out of that position. But the flip side of that, she's aggressive enough that she can get some points for us, can take care of the ball when she needs to, can be aggressive when she needs to. Where's she going to go? That's a really good question, because we've got a lot of high hopes for her. because she's, we believe that she's got the skill set to grow into a potential six rotation player, play some back row. She's not there right now, but she, we also don't quite need her to be there right now with everybody else we have on the roster. But for her, the ceiling is the limit because she's got the offensive game. She's not terribly big, but she's got a really good mentality. She's a tough kid. She's going to go out and grind and compete, which is something we obviously will want throughout her career.
Coach, right off with the WKU. Last week you guys lost to Ole Miss. But you guys looked really good this weekend. Do you think that loss coming last week kind of motivated you guys to get better, thinking, okay, we're not beatable, so just trying to get better throughout that?
It definitely gave us a little bit of perspective. We went into this year, and as you guys can imagine, this team returning so much talent, they had some really high expectations. Coming off of what we did last year, maybe our expectations are a little too high. What we did last year can be really hard to repeat in and of itself. But then you listen to this team, and they want to take it further, and that's going to be really hard to do. So they put a lot of pressure on themselves. And that Ole Miss match, who Ole Miss played phenomenal. I mean, they're a really good team, much different than most people expected, and they're going to win a lot of games in the SEC this year, and they're going to challenge the top of that league. But yeah, it definitely gave us some perspective. We had to regroup a little bit. We're not invincible. There's no doubt about that. The biggest part for us is to regroup with some of our goals and understand that we're going to have some challenges, and we've just got to meet those head on. And we're still working through it, if I'm being honest. We're not playing as clean as we want to play. Offensively, just make some uncharacteristic errors, and but we're getting there. The players they're committed to it. That's the one thing about this team. It's such a cohesive team. They struggle, and they want to get back in there and work, and they want to figure it all out. But the pressures of repeating what we did last year was certainly there. All the added attention that we're getting from the media and the fans and everything, our players were feeling some of that. And it's really given them a breath of fresh air to sit back, okay, that undefeated season's over with. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We can sit back, do what we do, and go play, have some fun, and we're good enough. We just got to show it every day.
Travis talked Saturday about some of the changes in the lineup they've made, moving Kelsey in there, moving Logan around a little bit. Do you guys feel like you kind of found the formula, or do you think there's going to be some more changes there?
As of today, I think we feel pretty comfortable with where we are, but there's no guarantees. Kelsey's she is a freshman, so when she struggled a little bit in serve receive over the weekend. I think she had 5 aces on her. That's a significant number, but again, she's got the ability. So I don't know that that's going to happen very often through the season. Even though she got aced 5 times, she still passed really well outside of that. And Logan, moving, she moved into that center back defensive position, and we really like what we're seeing out of her in that position. Just gives her a little different perspective. She reacts to the ball in that position a little bit better sometimes. So we like where we're headed. Will we stick with it? It could be a day-to-day deal based on who we're playing, how we have to put that scout out there. We like to do things based on who we're playing and position defensive players accordingly. So if we feel like Logan being the libero and playing left back is best for us, we'll go back to that. But we like where we're heading for sure.
Marshall's one of the few teams you guys dropped the set in the regular season last year. I guess what kind of challenges do they present, heading into this weekend?
Yeah, we had battle up there last year at their place. It was not our best match, but they played well, and we had to go in there and grind it out, which is pretty common when we go up there. They're returning 6 starters, I think, plus their libero, and so the talent's there. They've got a lot to challenge us with. The one category that stands out for them that will create a challenge for us is their blocking is probably leading Conference USA, if I'm not mistaken. that's a challenge for us, especially when we're not clicking offensively as well as we had been. I say that we're hitting 300, I think, on the year, which is crazy, but they're a very good blocking team, so that will definitely create a challenge for us. We're going to have to play pretty clean offensively.
Coach Maxwell trained with WKU. I just wanted to know a little bit about, Conference USA plays picking up. You guys have already had a lot of changes this year. You see a lot more changes occurring with CUSA play, just around the corner.
I don't know that we have a lot of changes. The difference is we have a lot of depth, which allows us to make changes within and potentially still get that production that we need. This weekend we were able to, like we said, we got Katie Howard out there, got a really good run. Kelsey Bringer's out there. Kennedy Coyle was able to come in. We made a blocking substitution right there, double sub, and she came in and got a block right away. Just the ability to make some of those subtle changes that can impact one play for 1 point, that really helps us. Anything from an overhaul standpoint, I don't foresee that. The Katie Howard and Avery Davis position, that might go back and forth. I stated earlier that Avery Davis is such a presence with her athletic ability and her blocking that she can change hitters. They'll see that big block up there and maybe take some errors or something like that. Sometimes we're going to need that. And then, from Kelsey in the back row, it just depends. I don't see any wholesale changes, but I do see the ability to make some adjustments based on how someone's playing or just to go out there and earn 1 point. Serving is one area where I think we can really change some things up occasionally too, but we run out of subs when we start just making serving substitutions.
Anything else for Fred? Awesome.
Great. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.